At the beginning of this story, I was bored because my Naze 32 10 degree of freedom board decided to not work, and I ordered another one. And I made a simple saw from the flight test people, but apparently this is the only bit that survived of the crash, and even the motor got bent. And I decided to not use the internal wiring sort of stuff, which probably isn't the best idea because these are a bit heavier, and I decided to reuse this. That's the front servo leads rocking out the front. So I took from another flight test idea, their Explorer I think is what it was, but I sort of streamlined it a little bit more, and it's basically a box that the tail fits in there, and the motor nacelle fits in here, which is another sort of alteration that I've done. So here's the nacelle from the Explorer, and I needed a bit more height out of my my motor, because on the Explorer it's a little bit bigger, but I sort of cheated and oh well, we only need that 2 high, but on the Explorer it's 3 high, and they stick a bigger propeller there. And I came across the what's it called, their water one that they just put out, and that looked pretty cool, and it gave me enough height for my 13-inch blade. Yep, that's no, it goes this way. So I stuck that on the top. The elastic band's there to hold the cables out of the way of the blade. Kind of not a good thing if they go into the blade. And so that goes in there, and you stick a stick through there. And now this bit here is the bit that I was actually trying to show. I wanted to, let me just take this back out because it's a bit heavy. I wanted to cool down my transmitter, FPV transmitter. So I picked up from Banggood one of these aluminium heatsink numbers. It's got a bit of a screw hole in the middle, and it's basically an elastic band attached to the front face. And I was going to just have like a cooling hole, as you can see the hole, but it turns out the cooling hole is just the right size for those fins to come through. Let me try and stick it in there. And ooh. Going through the camera is quite difficult. Just give me a second. And we're back. So the grills fit through this hole, and it kept sliding back in, which is not such a good idea because then it starts to become a space heater, and I don't really want my phone core to be heated up because I think it might kind of melt. I don't know, didn't want to try it. So I put this vent over the top, so it sort of also sucks the air in. As you can see, it's big area in and small area out. It blows over the fins, and it enabled me to put this screw in, which goes into the heatsink and holds it all nicely in place down there, if you can see it. So that's just one of the things that I thought was exciting. Oh, and this is also from flight tests. Their engine mount but I've mounted it sideways because the wing is attached to the cover that goes over there, so put the battery in and then it slides in down there and then up against this, and that gives it a bit more protection. I'm putting some foam in here as well, in case of an enthusiastic nose landing, because I seem to do those a lot. Also, another thing that I was showing was this is the cowling bit that you can see, just made up of generic foam core, and as you can see it's attached to the wings. Massively dodgy job. See the ribs in there. You can see how nice and tight that is, and that's just regular tissue paper, and it's been, well, you can see my efforts of putting it on, straining it, torn the paper, especially when it's had wet glue on it, but it's just regular tissue paper, just like that. Just happened to have a silver side because it was like wrapping paper, so I use that and it works pretty good. It's even, you can see on my where is my less than perfect part? Oh, there. Very hole, but still really tight over the frame, even though I put a hole there. I'll show you this. Fits over the front of a very good camera angle. Fits over the front and kind of snugly in like that. Like that. Beautiful. You might be wondering what those pieces of wood are for. Well, just take this out. Here are some wheels from a Bixler plane from Hobby King. They were having a sale. They had spare parts for the wheels. I thought, yeah, that looks really good. I'm pretty sure I could use that. And basically, just slots in there. The foam holds it on nicely, and there you go. You're interested in how I did the tight paper. This is just an example piece that I had with different methods. This one's not so good. That one's really good. This one's in between. What I did is I obviously made the frame, the skeleton, and then I used some glue stick. It doesn't have to be this glue stick, it could be any glue stick. I found it easy to apply and could stick down quite nicely. And then I took some generic PVA glue, or wood glue I suppose, and watered it down, maybe 50%, maybe a bit more, maybe 60-40, 60 glue, 40 water, and got a paintbrush and just painted it on. Let it dry for a couple of days, and that was how it formed such a nice one handy skin. Tip is after you finish painting your PVA glue mixture, maybe you should wash out your brush and not let it dry in the cup that you mixed it up with. So I have to cut that out. Very exciting. And here's the finished product. Well, it's put together. The electronics are in it, but they're not fully connected up. I still need to fix some trimming on the material on the wings, and I need to have the ailerons connected. But other than that, that would be the plane, and my god, I hope it flies. Maybe I'll show some footage of it flying soon, but the weather outside is less than conducive to flying. On the other side, I suppose. There we go. I still have to feel a bit of this cavity in here too. So yeah, and we have the propeller 13-inch propeller just because that's what I had handy, and hopefully the wings are big enough to actually give it lift. We'll see how we go. Thanks for watching.